YouTubers. This is Anonymous T. Hope you guys are having an amazing day today. Today I'm going to be discussing episode 6 through 8 of 20 Somethings Austin. Oh my goodness. So I am going through the latest set of episodes that just dropped Friday. However, I had to stop after episode 8 because what the heck, Abbey? Oh my gosh. Abbey is something. Let me tell you, Abbey is something. So in episode 6, the guys, they need to replace Bruce as a roommate. So they are interviewing different men to see who would be a potential fit. The girls, they're kind of overlooking the balcony and seeing who comes in, who's cute. They're making like weird jokes and everything. And, just cracking up, trying to see, how the, potential new male roommate will react and this and that. Then Abbey is grilling Natalie for some reason, trying to find out what Roxy and Kamari were talking about at a bar. Like anybody can overhear their conversation but the two of them, in a loud bar where people are dancing, where people are drinking, where people are, listening to loud music and everything else. But apparently Natalie is supposed to be the informant. She is supposed to be the snitch and just reveal all things that are happening with Kamari and Roxy. And I was surprised by Abbey's energy because she keeps saying this came out of nowhere, but really it didn't. Really, the thing was Roxy described Kamari at the beginning. And the next thing you know, Abbey is all over Kamari. So Abbey has this competition thing where she feels as though she can get with anybody's guy that somebody has a crush on. Or she wants to mark her territory. And she did the same thing to Isha. The moment that Isha liked Bruce, thought Bruce was cute, Abbey was talking to him the whole time. But then, once Isha and Bruce started getting close, Abbey felt away and pulled Isha aside. And it's like, girl, what are you doing? What is your obsession with this need for male validation? And so Abbey goes full steam ahead with Kamari. She leads with sex. She hooks up with him, has all these innuendos. And because, her and Kamari end things, because Kamari wasn't that serious about her, now she's talking about hiding in her room the rest of the time because she feels a way about, seeing Roxy and Kamari together. Well, maybe it's guilt that you feel. Because if you really weren't, as into Kamari as you claim, because you were willing to hook up with a guy from Hinge the next day, why do you care about Roxy and Kamari? You guys weren't in a relationship. You guys weren't serious. Why would it bother you seeing Roxy and Kamari around? And when do you even talk to Roxy? You only talk to Roxy the first day. You never have any of this energy to her face. I started to notice that of the girls, only Isha and Natalie actually talk to Roxy, and I feel a certain type of way about that. Why does Abbey ignore Roxy? Is she intimidated by her? Is she jealous of her? Like, what is the tea? Because that's not cool. How can you be all up in Isha and Natalie's faces and never interact with Roxy? What's up with that? Or do you feel that you're quote unquote in competition with her? And because of the Kamari thing, now this also gives you an excuse just not to interact with her, period, even though you knew that Roxy liked Kamari first. So how about that? So then the other thing that happened in episode 6 was that Isha got a call from the fashion boutique that she had lent her pieces to see if potentially there would be any buyers of her clothes, that, pretty much they were going to shut her down because there was no interest. They weren't getting any hits on any of her clothes and this and that. And so then, Isha felt a certain type of way, like, is fashion really for me? Should I really try to be doing this? And so then Michael felt bad, and he ended up going to the store, which I thought was a really sweet gesture. And he bought one of her pieces that cost like $426 or $486. It was like way expensive. I had no idea it was going to be that much. And, Michael said basically he was going to buy it and he was going to ship it to his little sister. So I thought that was the cutest thing. And he basically said, I really don't have that much money, but I want to support Isha. I don't want her to feel like she needs to give up on her dream and this and that. And he was like, even if I'm going broke doing this, I want to do this for her. And I thought that was really sweet. I thought that was really, really sweet. And so then later, Isha got the call from the same boutique later on that evening that somebody did buy her piece and that they were shipping it to their sister. And Isha was ecstatic, and, she was celebrating with the girls. And the next thing you know, Michael comes down and, she's like, we should celebrate. We should go out to eat. And, and so, and then it was like this, are you going to be, who's paying? And she was like, well, you are. And it was funny because they were texting, and Mike did this thumbs down button, and I'm like, oh no. And so then he makes a comment that dating Isha is starting to become expensive, and I'm like, uh-oh, here we go. So I'm curious to see how this is going to unfold, if Michael is going to eventually mess this up or potentially back out if he feels, quote unquote, that Isha is too high maintenance or too expensive for him to continue dating her. What I don't understand is Michael feels a certain type of way because essentially he quit his day job to pursue this comedy thing. But what I don't understand is why he couldn't just continue doing his day job while pursuing comedy on the side. And then once the opportunity for comedy actually takes off, then he could pursue comedy full time. Like, why do people just quit their day job before securing what their backup plan is? Like, whether you're quitting your day job to go to another job or you're quitting your day job to pursue a completely new career, why don't people plan for B and C and D just in case your backup plan doesn't work out? Why not still have a guaranteed check, a guaranteed salary, pursue comedy on the side? Because most comedy acts are on nights and weekends anyways. So why did you really hate that job that much? Or what was it? Because sometimes people think that they're good at something, but then, they might have actually thrown away a really great opportunity for just a dream, for just something that they might be good at. So I was really trying to follow Michael in that, because I'm like, dude, you wouldn't be broke if you kept your day job and just pursued comedy on the side. But I think the problem is Michael actually thinks he's good at comedy, even though he's had 2 comedy events, open mic nights, to where the people basically booed him or were completely silent during his set. So I would think that would buy him a clue that maybe he should go back to having a guaranteed check with his day job, something that he was good at, until he can figure out whether or not comedy is for him. Because as of right now, I don't feel comedy is for him. Either he needs to work on his writing, his delivery, the topics that he is discussing, but it was very cringeworthy to the point that I was laughing, not laughing because it was funny, but laughing because it was embarrassing seeing this display. And I had to have known the producers probably were cringing as well, because Kamari's face had said it all. So then we slide into Kamari and Roxy. Now that, sparks are starting to fly between them, and it's so cute. because Kamari, he wanted to cook Roxy dinner, and he wanted to make her not fish and grits, but shrimp and grits. And, his brother is a big time chef. So he was texting his brother, to send him like a recipe and this and that. And I thought it was so cute because Kamari did not put this effort into Abbey, which tells me he was really not into Abbey like that outside of hooking up with her. But he probably was always into Roxy from the beginning, but Abbey kind of just ran in like a thunderstorm and just, Kamari was her prey and that was it, without fully getting to know Kamari or anything. And so I like this vibe. I like this buildup. It's been like 6 or 7 weeks now that, Roxy and Kamari have been around each other. And, Kamari then says, okay, well, I need to go shopping. I need to go, buy some food to make the shrimp and grits and this and that. And so, he even asks in front of Natalie and Roxy if, they want to go. And, they're all like, yeah, this is just like the beginning and all this and that, when we all went grocery shopping. And Natalie, of course, pulls out because she has to be the informant. She has to be the snitch to tell Abbey that Roxy and Kamari are going shopping, but she doesn't want to be the third wheel. But so she backs out, and Kamari and Roxy go grocery shopping. And it is so cute because the moment that they get in the car, they have like the moment where they can code switch and they can be themselves. And they're like, I miss soul food. I don't think I've ever seen my grandmother make a taco or eat a hot dog or any of this. I miss greens. I miss mac and cheese. I miss yams. I miss everything. And it was just so nice to see, them have that kind of moment of, just missing some soul food, just missing some home cooking and this and that. And it was the cutest thing. And then they were like in the grocery store and they were just cute. It was just cute. It was flirty. It was a very nice energy between Roxy and Kamari. I hope this works out. I like the pace that they're going. They're not just leading into the lust and the physical attraction, but they're really starting off, building on the friendship that they already have. They're already building on the fact that they're attracted to each other, but still trying to get to know each other, still trying to get to know different qualities about each other that can make them compatible. And I thought it was a very nice gesture for Kamari to cook dinner for Roxy, and it was just the two of them. It was very intimate. They brought out the nice plates, the nice dishes, compared to like the paper plates and the cheap dishes. Kamari like really went all out and then really tried to make it like his brother, like a gourmet chef with how it looked. I mean, it looked really good. And so then, it was cute because both Kamari and Roxy, they got like dressed up kind of for each other. And it was the cutest thing. Like they were both like on this exclusive date with each other. And they both just looked amazing. They both looked fantastic. They looked like a power couple. And it was just everything. And so, finally, the food is done. Roxy is tasting it and she's giving like these weird looks on her faces. But then Kamari keeps asking her, how was it? How was it? How did the food taste? And then finally, Roxy is like, okay, it is the bomb. She gets up and she hugs him. And that hug that she gave Kamari was everything. And I knew then Kamari was in. And he was like, this is it. I'm feeling this girl. This is about to progress to beautiful things. So I cannot wait. I want more Kamari and Roxy. They should be the focal point of this show and not Abbey's mess and drama. So that was where we left off with Kamari and Roxy. So then everybody meets the new roommate, Adam. And, right away, Natalie is like, I got dibs on him. This is my guy. I have a crush on him. I'm going to shoot my shot. Everybody else in the house, they've had opportunities, whether on Hinge dates or with other roommates in the house to, hook up with people or to, lead to some type of a relationship with somebody. Whereas I've been the odd man out. So I'm going to shoot my shot with Adam. Then The group is then meeting Adam, and first the guys are kind of grilling Adam, and he's talking about how he works for the seltzer company in Washington and how he likes this job because it's a job where he can also work but then also drink the product. And so they were like to him, you look like you don't drink, soda. And it's so weird hearing people say soda because I say pop. But so he was like, yeah, I don't really drink soda or whatever. And so and then Kamari was like, yeah, the girls are going to like him. He's tall. He has the surfer hair and this and that. And so, and I think low key Kamari is happy because this means this gets Abbey off of her obsession with him. Because I think deep down he knows that even though he says that they're friends, he knows that there's still like some weirdness there, but he thinks this will be good deep down low key because he thinks that Abbey will go for this guy. So, Natalie is all in, and, she can't wait to meet this guy, have dinner and all this and that, because she was already, psyched from first impressions. And then I had a problem with Mr. Michael because Adam is basically asking, about the girls and this and that. And Michael's like, yeah, I'm with the Indian one. And I was like, wait, what? Like, who just says that? Like, why couldn't you just say I'm with Isha? Why did you have to go there? Oh, I'm with the Indian one. That really rubbed me the wrong way. As if Michael was shocked himself that he was dating, somebody that was Indian. I really kind of felt a way about that. I felt it was completely inappropriate. It was completely unnecessary. And it was funny because even after Adam met all the girls, he still didn't even know which one was Isha or which one was the one that Michael was with. Even though Michael, tried to make that distinction. I'm with the Indian one. It was just so low down. So, Natalie, she's still really, reeling about this Adam guy. And Abbey asks her a weird question, basically asking, if she were to like the same guy as her, would, Natalie make a move? And Natalie's like, of course not. I wouldn't do something like that. And I thought it was foreshadowing because it was weird because Natalie kind of asked her in a roundabout way the same question back, but Abbey was all like, oh, no, I would never do that to somebody, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, here we go. I'm like, this is about to be deja vu all over again. Kamari part 2, except for this time, it's actually going to be against somebody that she's actually close with. So next thing, we have dinner for the first night for Adam. And, they queue up the grill. They're barbecuing and chilling. Natalie, she has on a dress and, full makeup, and she's ready to pounce, except for some weird reason, she then asks to play volleyball with Adam while she is in this dress and some boots. And I'm like, Natalie, girl, why didn't you put on some shorts or some pants or something? Why are you doing volleyball, running deep into the sand in this dress, girl? This is not how you flirt with Adam. You're giving off friend vibes. You gotta have actual conversation with him, actual interaction, some flirting. Volleyball is not flirting. No, I just don't know what this girl is doing. And I felt so bad because I'm like, no, Natalie, this is not the approach with this guy. And then it was weird because Abbey kind of gave this look at them oh, it's nothing serious. I can make my move. And I'm like, uh-oh, here we go. And so then Kiki invites Oscar, and Kiki, reiterates that he hasn't really been seeing much of Oscar lately. And I'm like, this is not going to end well, because if he's already starting to pull back from you, it's likely because he already is involved with other people or is not that serious about you. And poor Kiki, this is his first go at a potential relationship, and he has no idea the signs to pay attention to when people start to pull back and start to pull away. And it's not going to end well, and I feel so bad for him. So the group is all sitting together. Adam, the new roommate, he sits across from Roxy. Roxy is sitting next to Kamari, and they're actually having a really good interaction. Adam said that, he was really surprised how quickly he was able to connect with everybody, that he really got along with everybody really well. And, the real thing for him was he said that he had just finished watching Yellowstone, and so he really wanted to get in the full Texas experience and go horseback riding. And, go out to a bar and experience the horseback riding, experience, throwing a lasso and all of that. And so everybody's like, yeah, we could do it. And it's something that, everybody as the group can do. And so then the next day, the guys go in one car and the girls go in another car to this place to do, they teach you horseback riding. They teach you how to throw a lasso on like a dummy bull and this and that. And so, Natalie is hyped because she thinks this is going to be her opportunity to really put the moves on Adam, to flirt with him more and this and that. And, boy, is she in for a shock, because pretty much Abbey just comes right in and starts flirting away with Adam. She is all over him the whole day, and then she takes a break because she's quote unquote not good at horseback riding. I think it was a ploy to get some alone time with Adam, because Abby's, she's used to this. She's true to this. She is true to the mission of being a man-eater. That is who she is. She does not care who likes him, who is with them. She has to be the it girl, the girl that all the guys are flocking to, that she deems are the popular guys. So therefore, this was her move. So she's hanging out under the tree, leaning against this car, saying, woe is me, I can't figure out how to ride a horse, or I'm not that good. And then out of nowhere, here comes Adam to swoop in to save the day. And he's like, I can take a break from horseback riding, even though this is the reason that we're here, because I wanted to do this. But I'm going to take a break, and I am going to spend time with you and comfort you and flirt with you because you look like you're upset. And so then Natalie was done. Natalie was like, I am so over this Abbey girl. How could you do this to me? You knew that I liked Adam and you were all over him the whole day. So she is just in her feelings. And so, Natalie is like, they're leaving the ranch or whatever. And she's like, is everything okay? And Natalie's like, I'm fine. I was just dying because I just knew right then and there. I'm like, I'm like, they're going to need to have a conversation, because this has already gone left. This is already the second time Abbey has, done her damage. Well, technically the third time if we're counting the Bruce and Isha thing that never really materialized. But, here she goes again. She is back at it, with her antics and her shenanigans. And, once again, she cannot help herself. So here we are, it is, the following day or whatever. And Kiki texts Natalie that, something is going on with Adam and Abbey, because of course, they're all at the same place or whatever. And so that night, actually the night before, Adam and Abbey, they're like flirting heavy, and Abbey sneaks over to the guy's place that night and just like a t-shirt and some wet hair, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, you don't just show up to see a dude in a t-shirt and like, it's just, I'm like, Abbey is she is certifiable. She is a hot mess express. Like, what are you doing, girl? So she arrives, Kamari is like asleep on the couch, and she like tippy toes up the steps, like trying to be like a sneaky link. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And so then she ends up in Adam's room, formerly Bruce's room. And, she's like, I don't know what to do with myself. I don't know what to do here, this and that. And she's like, do I look okay? Is my mascara running? And she's like whipping her hair, her wet hair and this and that. She's like, do I look good? Am I still pretty to you? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, here we go. And the next thing you know, her and Adam are making out on the bed. And he's got his shirt off, and she's only in a t-shirt. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I don't know how far things went, but it doesn't matter, because the line was already crossed earlier in the day when she was flirting with Adam heavily and basically spent the day with him, and ignoring her so-called friend Natalie and her feelings when she clearly said that she had a crush on him. So next thing you know, Abbey is up bright and early pretending that like she spent the night with the girls, and even though she didn't, and she's all in new clothes because she learned from last time from her walk of shame that since this is actually a guy that somebody else in the one of her roommates actually likes, she has to pretend that she didn't just try to hook up with him or did hook up with him the night before. So she's in like new clothes and she's like, yeah, I'm doing dishes and woo woo woo. And Natalie's like, yeah, we need to talk. So it's just, and then before that, actually, they had, Adam and Abbey went out to like go out, and explore, and they were like talking by the water and this and that. And so Adam made this comment like, whatever happens, it's going to be your fault, and starts laughing. And I was like, no, he's low-key serious. He knows that this is jacked. I'm sure he has the vibe that Natalie has a crush on him, but like, he's not gonna, obviously be mean or hurt anybody's feelings or this and that. He's gonna play it like he's the new guy. He's getting to know new girls, and things just progress with Abbey as they always do. So after that, Kiki, now he's the spy. He's the one, texting Natalie on the low and saying, hey, Abbey and Adam are out. And, Natalie is texting back all pissed. And she's like, yeah, I know. And, I already saw the vibes at horseback riding, and it's so messed up and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, Abbey, what happened to this energy that you were going to hide out in your room because you couldn't handle seeing Roxy and Kamari together? And I just knew it was never about Roxy or Kamari. It was about the fact that Abbey lost. She might have won the initial battle of leading with sex with Kamari, but she lost the war because Kamari quickly lost interest in her. She was way too possessive for a friends with benefits type of situation. And as a result, Kamari treated her accordingly and is treating Roxy like a woman he actually wants to court. So that is why she wants to hide in her room, because she's embarrassed and she's humiliated, and she tried to play one of her roommates and got played instead. And now she is doing the same exact thing to Natalie. So finally, Natalie and Abbey have this long-awaited conversation that should have been happened. But, Natalie is like, I think of myself as a person with integrity, and I think of myself as somebody who, I told you I had a crush on Adam, and you said you really weren't going to do anything about that. And for whatever reason, you asked me if I would ever do that to you, and I told you absolutely not. And I just don't understand why you couldn't even have the courtesy to tell me that you were going to pursue things with Adam instead of just going behind my back like that and being all over him and spending all this time with him and hooking up with him. Like, why didn't you just give me that courtesy so that I could cut my losses, I could move on to the next, instead of now looking like Boo Boo the Fool? So first, Abbey is like, well, I would never, deliberately portray you. And, of course I care about you. We're friends and blah, 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 blah. And then she goes into this whole spiel. Well, I've been depressed and I always need validation from men. And I always have to be the one that the men find attractive. And I always have to, have that so I can have my self-esteem. I can feel validated. I can feel this and that, but it's nothing personal against you. I knew you liked him, but, it's nothing personal. I just have to feel validated by the men. I'm sorry. Even if you like them, even if you're with them, I have to feel validated by them. And Natalie's looking at her like, you are full of it. Like, who does that to somebody? That is not a friend of mine, this and that. And so at first I thought, okay, maybe Abbey, because of this conversation, is going to have a conversation with Adam. Maybe she's going to pull back and say, you know what? It is not worth it. Natalie is a good person. Natalie is genuine. It is not worth it to ruin this friendship over a guy, because even Natalie told her that she's not the type to do that Natalie is never about to compete over a guy. She is not about to risk a friendship over a guy. That at the end of the day, her friendships with females matter and not this other stuff. So, then in the midst of this, Oscar goes out to eat with the group, for Adam's intro dinner, at the house. Oscar is invited to horseback riding via Kiki. And, there was an awkward moment during horseback riding where Kiki is asking Oscar to be his boyfriend. And Oscar is looking away at the sand and is not looking at Kiki's face when he's asking him this. And I'm like, oh no, this is where I knew this was not going to end well. And so I was like, yeah, he's about to break up this guy. And so Oscar's like, yeah, let me think about that. And, things are going great right now. And I'm like, oh no, this is not going to end well. So then, back at the house, after the aftermath of this Natalie and Abbey nonsense, Kiki calls Oscar because he wants to see, if him and Oscar can have like a one-on-one, if they can kind of talk about the conversation from the ranch. And he puts him on speaker. And then next thing you know, out of nowhere, like Natalie just appears and Oscar's like, yeah, about the boyfriend thing. I don't know if I'm really ready for all of that. And, I think we need to take a step back and this and that. And so, poor Kiki, he's like, okay. And, hangs up or whatever. And, then once he hangs up, like, he just like starts bawling, he starts breaking down. I just feel bad because it was probably like, he's inexperienced in the realm of dating and relationships and when to pay attention to signs in terms of, when somebody is just kind of interested in you for you and wants to actually be in a relationship with you versus just enjoying their time hanging out with you, but they're not looking at this as anything that's serious or anything that is more than what it is. So, Natalie was briefly there to comfort Kiki, and then Kiki wanted to be alone after that. So then Miss Abbey, she then calls her sister and is like, how the other day I was really pissed about the whole Kamari thing and I was going to stay in my room the rest of the time. And she was like, yeah. And so she was like, guess what? This new hot guy came in and I was just all over him and my roommate liked him and I just like went in for the kill. And she was like, oh, she's like, yeah, I'm in some drama. And she's like, maybe I'm a snake. Maybe that's just who I am. And I was like, bingo, you are. I was thinking of Paula Abdul. Those of you who may not know the song, he's a cold-hearted snake. That was like what I was thinking. Like the whole time I was like, yes, you are the snake. You are the problem, Abbey. You are certifiable. This is not cool. This is not how you conduct yourself. Like, are you just going to go through all of the roommates that are, tall and good looking and popular? Like, what is your deal? And even with that being said, I still don't think she's going to stop things with Adam because Adam's going to have to be the one to stop it with her because Abbey is too obsessed with male validation and male attention and doesn't care about Natalie to actually, stop things from progressing. Because if she actually cared, she wouldn't have done a sneaky link to his room in a t-shirt. Like, who does that? So those are all of my thoughts through 6 through 8. It was a lot in those 3 episodes. Oh my gosh. And I just couldn't hold off or hold back until I finished the last few because I was like, I just can't believe what I'm seeing. I can't believe that, I can't believe that Abbey's conducting herself like this, but I hope Natalie doesn't take Abbey's friendship back. Like, I hope Natalie's cool on her and just cultivates her relationships with Kiki and Isha and Roxy. Like, she does not need Abbey because Abbey is no one's friend. Abbey only cares about Abbey, and that is all it is. But the biggest issue is Abbey needs therapy. She needs to deal with her divorce and her just, trying to jump in and deal with all these people. It just really kind of shows where she's at mentally and what her character is. And she's not looking for anything serious. She's just looking for a good time, not a long time. So why she's putting so much investment in these men is beyond me. So that is all of my thoughts on, these first 3 episodes that I watched of the rest of the season of 20-somethings Austin. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys agree, disagree. What do you think of Abbey? What do you think of Roxy and Kamari? What do you think of Natalie getting played by Abbey? What do you think of Isha and Michael? What do you think of Adam, the new guy? What do you guys think? What are your thoughts? And so for those of you who are new to my channel, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for viewing my channel. It is great. Welcome, and please come back for more and get notified of when I post videos. And as usual, I will talk to all of you guys again very soon.